Before the paper, I knew they would say, and I knew by the looks on their faces. Niggas mad cause I did what they wouldn't do, say what I couldn't do. Look, bitch, I made it. I made it. Came a long way from the basement. Body on me, I ain't playing, y'all. These niggas ain't playing fair. If I would've known better, I'd do better. Took some mess and I learned from a new level. Bought some new shovels and some new stressors, and I'm ready for war like whoever. They counted me out, I can't count it all. Cause little nigga, I ball. I put them points on the board every time that I shoot, I'ma score, and you know I'm a dog. I'm really appalled, don't need no applause. I know I'm a legend, my name on the wall. First record with platinum, my second with gold. Did it independent, no deal at all. And they said it's impossible. Got them high cause I did them without them though. I'm the same nigga slept on the carpet floor. Even back then I knew that I be poppin', so I really ain't trippin'. I swear I ain't trippin'. I got in my feelings and got me a million. Couple people I thought would be with me, but they not, so it's fuck all them niggas. And then you next.
Hello world, what's good with everybody, man? Definitely feel good to be back for sure. Definitely feel good to be back for sure, man. Definitely wanted to come back with some something to look forward to, right? Definitely something to look forward to as I talk about these fighters from Top Rank, man. I actually visited Vegas, visited the Top Rank fights this past weekend. Of course, I was in Vegas. And of course, I was supporting, my fellow guy, man. He's like a little brother to me, Brian Norman Jr. Definitely was in the building for that, man. And it was definitely good to get back out there and get back in the mix of things, especially when it comes to boxing, man. To get back in there and, just talk boxing, see people I haven't seen in a while. Seen a couple people. Then, of course, I met some guys that normally be in the chat. I definitely met Gregory Carmichael. Met him out there. Wonderful dude, great guy, man. Wonderful spirit guy. He just loves boxing. So he was in the building. Met him. It was a couple people that I met, man. Of course, chopped it up with Derek Cuevas' team, who was the opponent for Brian Norman Jr. I met those guys and, just had a good little talk with, a lot of boxing family. Of course, Mark Nash was out there. Of course, he's definitely Team Norman as well. Stitch Duran and, Timothy Bradley, all those guys, man, they was out there. I really didn't speak to too many people, but, too many people that, that's within the boxing community. But I did see those people, but I also had a chance to talk to my guy, Coach Prentice, who's also the coach of Tiger Johnson. Me and Coach Prentice, we talk all the time, and we've seen each other over a gazillion times now. As he has people or has a fighter that fights on overtime, and of course, I still rock with Team Brady, Haven Brady. He actually got another fight coming up pretty soon. I actually think it's this weekend or next week. It's one of them. Who else? Yeah, man, we just had a good time for sure. Definitely had a good time. But Coach PJ, man, Prentice, he got Tiger Johnson looking good. And I stated this the other day when I was on Stormy B-Man show when I called in. I wanted to see what Tiger Johnson was going to look like. This was his first fight at 47. And I had to take Stormy B-Man a while, take him back to when I first seen Tiger Johnson. It's when he was coming from the Olympics. And this was, in fact, this was the same day that Shakur Stevenson fought Jamel Herring here in Atlanta. And I forget what belt that was for, but they definitely fought for a belt. And they had been here in the whole Atlanta the whole week. Brian Norman also sparred, Little Africa, known as Richardson Hitchens. He sparred him that day, and he also sparred Bud Crawford that day. So it was a lot of hitters in the building that day as well. So me meeting Coach Prentice that day, and I, of course, you guys seen it. I invited him over here to the channel. where we got a chance to just chop it up. Because I was one of the ones who was very critical of Tiger Johnson because I liked what I saw while he was here, and of course I liked what I saw while he was in the Olympics. And I said, man, I think that Tiger Johnson can be something. Um, he was, first couple fights, he was up and down on Top Rank. And it just seems to me as if Top Rank, they pick and choose who their favorite guys are and who they want to push. And they give their favorite guys the easy fights. But they was giving guys like Haven Brady, Tiger Johnson, and, a couple other guys some hard, tough fights. Um, in my eyes, it's more so of, them proving themselves to Top Rank, right? But then you can also take it with a grain of salt and say, hey, I needed those type of fights as well. Um, Drew, man, come on, bro. Ain't nothing. It ain't nothing, man. For sure, man. I appreciate that 1000%, man. You ain't have to, but I definitely appreciate it for sure. Joseph Townsend, I see you out there, brother. Hello, world. Bernard Gilbert, what's good? Shawala Yah, what's good? What's going on? I see you out there, man, for sure. Definitely see you out there. Uh, so as I was saying, like I said, I was very critical of Tiger Johnson, and he went up. He went up. He started off up and down with Top Rank. Had some tough fights. Um, but when I saw him fight at 47, I said, yeah, Tiger Johnson is definitely who I thought he was, for sure. He's definitely who I thought he was. And now that I think about it, it could have excuse me. It could have been the weight that was kind of hindering his performance. Because he looked very comfortable. I believe his body is going to fill out with at 47. He looked very comfortable. His punch selection was definitely top tier this fight. And I can tell he was dialed in listening to Coach Prentice. I definitely could tell he was dialed in listening. And I said, okay, now we're working with something. But I can just tell his body looked more fluid. Wasn't really worried about making too much of the 40 pounds. And sometimes that can be very, very detrimental. It really can. People may say, well, it's only 7 pounds. Well, you try to lose 7 pounds. See how you feel. But, better yet, let's try to lose 7 pounds to 10 pounds in a day and then rehydrate, right? Some people just can't up and lose 7 pounds, right? But Tiger Johnson, at 47, looked real good, put his punches together, nice punch selection, listened to Coach Prentice Burrow, and he was taking punches up the middle, and I see the creativity that he was doing with his offense. Very, very Tiger Johnson-ish, especially with that type of performance that I seen from him was the performance that I've seen throughout his amateur career. That's the scary part. And it's like, damn, that's where has this been all along? For me, it's been like, where has this been? Because I know that Tiger Johnson can put punches together. I know that he can look, these are things that I know, but I haven't seen that since his amateur fight. And yeah, you got to get adjusted to the pro ranks. But I think Tiger Johnson is like 12, 13 fights in or something like that now, So it's about time that he's arrived. That's what I believe. I do believe that he arrived. He got some more competition up there, 47. Of course, you got guys like Devin Haney coming up to 47. I believe Ryan Garcia is coming to 47. You already got some of the, other guys there. You still got, of course, the WBO champion Brian Norman Jr., who's there. Jerron Boots Ennis, Stanionis, Barrios, Susaki. We're gonna get into him a little later on as well. You still got some guys there. Stantillian's still there. Alexis Roca's still there. If you really want to get in the bag, you can go as far as say a former contender champion, Blair Fair. He's still there. Blair's still there. So I mean, it's still some guys there. You got guys coming up. It won't be before long. Hitchens probably move up as well. So it's gonna get real interesting. I know it kind of died down for a minute because, of course, Earl and Bud left the division, and that's totally fine. But it's the young group of fighters who are here, who are willing to fight anybody, that's willing to put it all on the line. And I think that this division within the next year or so definitely going to heat up for sure. But I can't say enough about Tiger Johnson and his performance. Great performance. I mean, I was I was utterly shocked. I really was, because his performance, like I said before, it was up and down. It was like stagnant and up and down a little bit. But here he is now. He's arrived. Polanco, he's another guy who's in the 47 pound division as well. I actually thought that they was going to make Polanco and Tiger Johnson at 40. So maybe they're going to be looking to do it at 47. I don't know. But I think that'll be very, very conducive to that division as well. Um, but yeah, that to start the card off, I actually seen, Shushu, seen him there, saw him doing the weigh-ins. Now, when I seen Shushu doing the weigh-ins, of course he's fragilely small, right? Small guy. And I was looking at him like, damn, did he have a bad weight cut or, because I've seen Shushu weigh in. That's actually going to be my second time seeing him fight live. And I'm like, it don't look that good. But it didn't cross my mind that this was going to be a hard fight for him. I've actually seen Shushu get better over his last 3-4 fights. Now, there was a fight that was in there in between where people was, kind of saying that maybe Shushu should wait on fighting anyway. And it's going to be like that sometimes. You're never going to always have a good day at the office, right? But for me, I needed to see Bruce Carrington, Shushu go through those type of things in that fight. I forget exactly which fight. I think it was like 3 fights ago, because I know he fought on was it the Tyson card, I believe, Tyson Paul card, and he recently just fought. So yeah, 3 fights ago. That's when people was trying to say, maybe he shouldn't fight in your way just yet, and just saying a whole bunch of things. But I do believe that Shushu's getting better. I've seen him get better each and every fight, actually. But there was definitely some things he could take away from the fight that was subpar. However, going forward, it's going to get a little tough for him. It's definitely going to get a little tough for him. I'm hearing that they might mandate the fight or put the fight up with Espinoza and Shushu. And I also heard Cool Boy Steph. Well, I can't call him Cool Boy no more. Little Scooter. Stephen Fulton, he's pretty much he had some things to say about Shushu. I actually talked to Scooter yesterday, and then he hopped on the Spaces because I not called him, but I texted him and said, "Hey man, go do the interview with Brunch Boxing. Those the good group of guys over there. A lot of people tune in to them over on Twitter as well. So Scooter pulled up, talked about it." And one of the main things he said that is, Shushu's always calling my name. All these guys call my name. But why ain't nobody calling Espinoza name? Now, of course, we know who Espinoza is. He's beaten the former, 2-time gold medalist, Robisi Ramirez, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 3 times. But he's definitely beaten him 2 different times, 2 different occasions. And that's a grounded out fight, and Scooter is right. People have been saying his name. People have been saying his name, and he's looking at it like, hey, I'm not the only, y'all calling my name, but, Nick Ball was here before I was here. Espinoza was here before I was here. Ray Vargas and all those guys was here before I was here. How come now you guys are calling my name? So I like Shushu. Don't get me wrong. Everybody know I'm high on Shushu. I actually had him as my number 2 what you call that, prospect at the time when he was in the prospect stages, and I had Abdullah Mason number one. And I was saying that, hey, Shushu's definitely going to be good. I think that he still need to iron at some things. I actually do believe that he's gotten better, like I said before. The one thing that disturbed me was the level of competition. That was the one thing that disturbed me, because I remember when he was in the WBS series, and now people say, well, why you go back to the amateurs? Well, at this particular fight that I'm speaking about with Shushu and Joe Cadena, in the WBS series, and this was without headgear, so this was almost a emulation of the pro ranks. And Shushu he was just a half step or more than a half step back fighting Joe Cordina. I'm quite sure you guys can go research that fight and pull it up, and you'll see exactly what I mean. There's certain type of fighters that give Shushu fits. And I look at the type of fighters that he's been fighting. He hasn't fought since the WBS series. He hasn't fought anyone who maneuvers just as skilled and can move like he moved. He hasn't fought one of that caliber yet. And then when I'm looking at that fight, I see Joe Cordina using head feints. I see him feinting, using his legs, pop shot and Shushu. So those type of things right there irritate me to not wanting to see him fight a guy like Scooter. Now don't get me wrong, Scooter will fight anybody, but I think people don't listen to what Scooter be saying sometime, and it kind of go off their head. Him going to 35, the fight O'Shaquie Foster, I don't find that like shocking, right? If you watched him leading up to his last fight to Brendan Figueroa, he told you guys, hey, don't be surprised if 35, is my near future. Even with him weighing in at 126 pounds, you can still tell that he kind of beefed up, because his face was still looking a little puffy. You know what I'm saying? If you met Scooter in person before, while he was fighting at 126, you would know that he always had a slim face. So when I saw that, I said, yeah, I won't be surprised if he do go up, because it looked like he can still grow a little bit more. And he also talked about how he but how he outgrew 122 and overstayed his welcome. And he said that he's not putting himself through that no more. And then, if it's 135 next, that's just what he's going to do. He's not, he say he love his fans, but he's not going to let his fans dictate or let people dictate what he do. But he did say that, he hear Shushu calling his name, but he's saying that, hey, you over there on that side of the street with Espinoza, but you're saying my name. He said, I understand that you got a WBC interim and things of that nature, but hey, man, you got a guy over there that you can definitely mix it up with, but you're not calling his name. And I totally agree. Do Shushu give Espinoza some type of fits? I'm sure. He's a much taller guy. He's much taller than Shushu. But Shushu has showed that he can definitely Shushu definitely has showed that he can, go mix it up with the best of them. And I believe that he's going to continue to get better. He just doesn't have those names on his resume, to me, just yet, to fight a guy like Cool Boy Steph. And you look at Cool Boy Steph's resume, and it's a shame that many people wrote him off, because this is a guy who fought damn near 11 or 10 or 12 undefeated fighters. Took two undefeated fighters belts from them. Went over to Japan, right? Didn't go the way he expected, but he fought a champion at that time. Well, I think it was at 118 or 122. No, 118. 122. I'm sorry. Monster Inoue, right? So he got some guys on his resume, and people looking at it, because of course, we see Shushu like 3-4 times a year, possibly 5, right? And I know Shushu want to fight. He's not ducking no smoke. But you got to understand there's levels to this as well now. There's level. You can't go on Shushu record and resume and look and compare any of the fighters that Cool Boy Steph fought already on a consistent basis. Undefeated fighters on a consistent basis. Right? So that's a different kind of high quality work that Cool Boy Steph has been getting. And I know a lot of people wrote him off because of their fight. And I believe you guys should go listen to the interview as well, because he definitely goes deep into talking about the whole thing with Monster anyway and how he felt body can respond and things of that nature. And it happens when you outstay your welcome, especially at a weight class that you've outgrown. So those things happen. Kevin, the Fett was good with you, man. Hello, world. What's going on with it? Yes, indeed. Say, I think Shawala, I think dude is dirty. Got to be careful fighting him. What makes him dirty? Maybe I haven't seen too much of him, so I wouldn't know. Say, Tiger Johnson, yes, he looked good. Only thing for me is he's hesitant when he had Buddy hurt, but he got onto it. Yeah, for sure he did. Okay. Yeah. Good crowd too. Good crowd. And I think it was their first time throwing the fights at Fontainebleau. If you ever been to Fontainebleau Hotel, or many people stay at the Fontainebleau in Miami. It's almost a resemblance to that. Almost, the statue and the figure kind of, fit that hotel a little bit, the way it curved and things of that nature. But overall, man, they got a theater that they can rent out and make some use of it. I think Top Rank got another card this weekend at the Palms. Of course, I seen Keyshawn Davis, Supreme Beast Boxing Talk. What's good with it, bro? I seen Keyshawn Davis there. Chopped it up with him. He got a fighter that trains with him by the name is Avius Griffin, who's also a 47-pounder. And me and Avius trained at the same gym in the amateurs together in Tennessee. So know Avius Griffin very well. He's over there with Bo Mack and those guys too. So I chopped up with Keyshawn for a minute. I think Shakur was there, Bud was there, Clarissa. I seen Clarissa come in. Oh, it's somebody that I'm forgetting that was there, and I spoke to them too. I don't know who it was. Shit, my mind went blank that fast. So I go there all the time. Yeah, that's a nice hotel, man, for sure. The only thing I don't like about it is away from the strip. You know me, I like to get busy. I like to go. Now they got a sports book, so I can't even say that. Can't even say that. But they got a sports book there, so I definitely got me some good bets in for sure. Definitely got some good bets in for sure. For sure. Yeah, man. But I wish that hotel was closer to the strip, although it's at the top of the strip, right? So not too much of a walking distance, if you ask me. I'm not walking nowhere. I'm not walking nowhere. And like I said, Top Rank got a card this weekend at the Palms. So they right back down there. They right back in Vegas. I also owe Jahad Tucker. That's what it was. I saw Jahad Tucker, man. And I believe he's fighting at 160 now. I believe he's fighting at 160. I'm going to just say this. I hope Jahad Tucker makes weight this week. He definitely has a lot of promising aura about him, especially in the ring, outside the ring as well. But I do hope that he makes weight, because I seen him right at the Brian Norman fight. And I tell you, he did not look nowhere near 160 pounds. Nowhere near. I said, damn. And I turned to, I said, he's supposed to fight next week. And, some representatives from Top Rank was like, yeah. I was like, y'all sure you're going to make the weight? They was like, man, we don't know, man. We just got to wait and see. And I was like, man, he look every bit of 180 right now. And it's the week heading into the week of the fight. I don't know, man. That just didn't look good, you know. Just didn't look good to me. Um, whenever I did have a fight coming up, I like to be on weight, at least on weight 2 weeks out, but then maybe 3-4 pounds off of weight going into fight week, so that way I can get me something to eat if I need to. And if I'm struggling to make weight, I still can put some water in my body to, knock that down. So knock it off. But every fight is different for sure. But man, if he make 160, I'll be surprised because he looked hella big. And Jahai Tucker definitely can fight, and I want to see him, prosper definitely. Brian Norman Jr., man, Brian Norman Jr. I put you guys on Brian Norman Jr. almost 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Said, damn, I can't see Jahai at 180. Shit. If you seen him this past weekend, he damn sure looked like it. And that's for sure. That's for sure. Cause I'm every bit of 168, 169 right now. And he was twice my size. And Jahai, like I say, those guys not that much taller than me. But I know for sure he was definitely about 180 for sure. Definitely. And he's a big kid now. Don't get me wrong. He's a big kid. And that wasn't the first time that I seen Jahai. I actually seen Jahai for the first time maybe like 2 years ago here in Atlanta. I think he just had got done sparring Braun Norman, and I gave him some cryotherapy. And he was big then, but he was more around the fight weight. But now he looks huge. But we'll see, man. Looks can be deceiving as well. Looks can be deceiving. That we do know. But Brian Norman Jr., man, listen. I put you cats on about, 2 years ago. Excuse me, I had to get a drink of water. But I put you guys on about 2 years ago. I even, when I first had Brian Norman on, I told you guys I told you guys about the story the very first time he and I sparred. I want to say Brian, and that was 10 years ago 9 years ago, because he's 24 now. And he was 15 when we first sparred. And rest in peace to Coach Lopez, because we both out of Coach Lopez gym. That's the father of Najee Lopez and Hakeem Lopez. And Najee Lopez got a fight coming up again, and he fights on Pro Box, or he's promoted by Pro Box. But with that being said, I'll never forget, Coach Lopez said, hey, well, we're going to spar with him today to give you a look. But the only thing you can do is throw jabs. I'm like, all right, whatever. But Brian Norman got to throw whatever the hell he wanted because he was 15. Man, listen. That motherfucker hit me. I looked at Coach Lopez and I said, he ain't no goddamn 15. Shit, who? He ain't no 15. And I was getting ready to throw a right hand. He's like, Nope. You can only throw a jab. And that's the day that I said, this nigga is fucking lucky. He's fucking lucky, man, for sure. But I will never forget that day. And ever since that day, man, Brian Norman and his father, it's been like a brotherhood, It's been like a brotherhood because Big Norman was the one. He always showed me love for one. He always showed me love. And of course, me and Lil Junior, every time, and that's another thing, every time we always had people come and spar, or people come and spar him, he'll be in the ring or get ready to get in the ring. And I'll just be looking. I say, yeah, this ain't about to go how people think it's going to go. So I'll go ahead and just strap up because I know he's going to want to finish off his rounds. I'll just go ahead and strap up. And every time I've strapped up when he was getting ready to spar somebody, 9 times out of 10, I was correct. He probably knocked them out or they quit. And that's just the guy's honest truth. And like I said before, I told you guys when he was 15, when he was 15, that some bitch could hit. And that's the truth. Um, we fought on the same card, trained together. We fought on the same card like 3 or 4 times, I believe. And it's always been the same result. The same result. His father, Big Norman, he always tell me the same thing, man. Listen, Tay, gotta stop playing with these guys. They ain't supposed to be in there with you. We know. He always say, I know you ain't got the experience like that, but shit, fuck that. You know, get these guys out of there. And shit, that's what he believed. That's what he stand on. Don't play with your food. You know, and it's funny because I hear him say these things, and the same thing he used to tell me back in 9 years ago. Same thing he tell Brian 8, 9 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. It's just now that Brian is a grown man. He's definitely brought the power that he had at 15 into his grown man years, and now you can definitely see that it is what I said it was. I remember talking about the different sparring wars that this young man was in. Keep in mind, I brought Gervonta Tank Davis to Brian Norman Jr. I was there the 3 or 4 times they sparred. Right, I was there when he sparred Bud Crawford. I was there when he sparred Charles Conwell. I was there when he sparred Jahai Tucker. A lot of these guys, I was there. Been there the whole time. I know what went on. I know what happened, right? I know who got what. I know who stumbled. I know who dropped. I know who quit. I know all of that. I know all of it. But I tell you one thing, I never seen Brian Norman drop. I never seen Brian Norman hurt. I never seen Brian Norman quit. I'll tell you that. But to say the least, man, I'm happy for the young man because when he first got with Top Rank, he already had some hand issues. Here and there he fought sporadically on Showtime, here and there. I think he had 1 or 2 knockouts on Showtime or a stoppage or something like that, I believe. And I guess they wanted to, see what he had and things of that nature. I don't know, right? But as time went on, he initially was going to sign with BLK. And then, of course, that fell through. Actually, when he was getting ready to sign with BLK, he was actually at my house. We was in my backyard, picking pears off my pear tree. And that's when I found out about BLK. And then a couple weeks later, he said, "Nah, bro, I got something else cooking, and you're going to like this." And that's when he signed with Top Rank. Now, as he signed with Top Rank, I know that, he had some hand issues. And that's what I try to tell people. Like, listen, y'all don't know what I know. I know he was going through some things when he first signed with Top Rank. That's something that I know, right? And that's in-house, so I ain't gonna never let that out. But it's fixed now, so I can talk about it, right? When he first signed with Top Rank, he had some hand issues, and that's something that had been bothering him for a long time. And I know people was hearing about the sparring store, so everybody was like, "Man, he average, he's this, he's that, man. And there's no way he could have did this to Tank, or there's no way he could have did that to Bud." And I had to really bite my tongue, like, only if you knew. Or there's no way he did this to Charles Conwell. I had to bite my tongue because only if people knew. And then he gets the hand fixed. Whoo-hoo-wee. Now, unfortunately, he got his hand fixed when Top Rank actually pretty much wanted to feed him to the wolves. And that was cool. It was cool because at this time, I think Brian had, 20 some odd fights? Cool, no problem. And guys, let me just tell you this, man. I made so much money off him fighting Santini, for sure. I knew what time it was. Listen, you gotta understand, I be around all the time. I know what B can do. I know what he can't do, but if you tell him what he can't do, he gonna show you he can do it. So I know. And that was one of the things that told me that getting ready for the Santillan fight, he went away. And if you know B, he really get homesick. So he really don't like being away too long, right? But I knew when he went out to camp, and I rarely heard from him, maybe like one or two times. I said, yeah, it's that time. And he had just got his hand fixed. So you saw what happened to the Santinian fight. Then coming to this fight with what's his name? Derek Cuevas. I think I told Senior, I helped Senior get ready for his fight against Greg Hackett. I told Senior, I said, man, listen, Brian gonna knock him out, and this shit gonna be bad. Uh, this just come from watching film. I knew Derek Cuevas, can punch. I know he been down there in the pro box gym getting some good work with those guys like that. But when I tell you that Brian Norman power is different, when I tell you when he's locked in more than what you think you may know, Nick J, what's good? What's going on? I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to see you, Nick J. Definitely wanted to see you, man. Shit, kick it with y'all or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Definitely wanted to see you guys for sure. Kevin Effect was good. Shawala, yeah, I say burn the box and try to clown. Well, Bernie was there. Bernie know what happened. Of course, man, listen, I have no problem with them, but we all know, we all know. But yeah. I'll put it like this. If the situation and Bernie told on himself, if the situation between Brian Norman and Bud wasn't nothing, why did they want to invite Brian Norman to camp when he already had a fight coming up? Don't let that go over your head. That's all I'm gonna say on it. But I know what happened. I was there. I know who did what. And like I say, I know it wasn't Brian Norman. But I digress. So now he gets his other fight. And what's crazy is me and Brian Norman, we fought around the same time last year. And we actually had sparred. We sparred, what's that? We sparred maybe like 3 or 4 days before he got his second hand surgery. We sparred before he got his hand surgery. And he said, man, bro, I'm going to be down for a minute. But as soon as I get back, we're going to get it in. Cool, bet. I'm like, man, hold on. Nah, bro. You got 2 hands now. nah. You need to go ahead and get well. But I knew what time it was for this fight. I told Senior while we was training for the Greg Hackett fight, I said, man, Brian going to knock him out and it's going to be bad. He was like, man, I remember Norman, Brian, Big B. I call him Big B. I remember Big B, Senior saying, he said, I don't know, man. We haven't been in the ring and, we got to get a little ring rush. You might carry him or this, and third. I said, B, this shit ain't going past 4. That's what I told him. That's what I told him. He said, man, we'll see, man. We work on some things. But we need the rounds. We need the rounds. That's what he was saying. I said, B, this shit ain't going past 4, man. I'm telling you. One of the reasons why I understood and knew why it wasn't going past 4 is the motherfucker got 2 hands now. Man, I'm okay. I know what he did with these other people. WCS was good with it. What's going on? World Cup at Sports? What's going on? So I know, you know what I'm saying? Like I personally know what happens when he has 2 hands. It's really the last time I really knew that B had 2 hands that was in great shape was when his first fight in America. Because of course, B turned pro. I think he was 16 or he was 17. It was one of them. And when he first turned pro and he came back to the States, and fought on my card, and he knocked Buddy out. He knocked Buddy out through the ring. And this guy he had fought at that time was a pretty good dude, and he knocked him out the ring. So I knew what time it was. When we get to the fight, I walk in because I watched, Shushu fight on the phone walking in. I didn't want to be too early. I really just wanted to see B fight and get up out of there because I had some other things going on. So I said, man, let me get to the fight, man. So I got to the fight. I had Milana gear on. You know what I'm saying? Because they say Atlanta don't have no fighters. They say Atlanta can't sell, but last time I checked, Tank came down here and sold what you call Black Hollywood out. Last time I checked, Shakur came down here and sold Black Hollywood out as well. So when they say Atlanta fighters, Atlanta ain't got no fighters. Shh. Okay, now that's when the South got something to say, because this is a market where anybody can really come take the light down here. It's Black Hollywood. Black Hollywood. You seen the first person to do it was Tank, who followed right behind. Top Rank. Top Rank just didn't do it right. That's all. Top Rank just didn't do it right. They didn't hit the airways. They didn't hit the radio station. They didn't hit none of the, I'm not saying go to the clubs, but you gotta talk to the party promoters. Everybody know this city. Everybody know how we get down in the city for us on a party level. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're a black fighter, even if you're a Caucasian fighter. We got some of the best clubs for the Caucasian crowd. Hispanic fighters, we got some of the best clubs for the Hispanics as well. But you just got to know who to talk. So you got to know how to do it right. See, Floyd, MTM, Showtime, they did it right. They did it the right way, But Brian Norman's the youngest champion. And he's the first champion from Atlanta in the past 2 decades. And you saw what he did to Cuevas. He made him quit. That's the Brian Norman that people don't know about. He made him quit. People, they caught fire of him because of the great performance against Centennial. But people wanted to see more. Now people are itching for even more. But I tell you this, and I'm already hearing people saying, "Oh well, they need to get the Boots fight, the Boots this, the Boots that, the Boots this." But check this out. What I bet you guys didn't know is that Brian Norman was champion, WBO champion, but you had Stanionis with a WBA, and then you had Barrios with a WBC. They offered Brian Norman the least out of both of those champions. Now, wait a minute. We got 4 different champions, with Boots being IBF. Eddie Hearn decides to lowball Brian Norman, but what he was asking for was Stanionis' initial offer. What he was asking for was Mario Barrios' initial offer. Now, what's funny about it is you hear those Boots fans, and I'm a Boots fan myself, but you hear those Boots fans, those bootlickers who always talk Boots. Or Brian Norman dug Boots, or this. Well, when y'all gonna say, "Oh well, shit, man"? They offer him the lowest amount. Wait a minute. Who the fuck did Barrios fight? Because last time I checked, he definitely got his ass beat by Gervonta Tank Davis here in Atlanta, 135 pounder. At that time, Tank was really a 130 pounder. Last time I checked, he was in a ring with fucking Keith Thurman, who pretty much dismantled his face. And Stanionis, I can't say nothing bad about Stanionis because he's proven himself. But Eddie Hearn offered him what Brian Norman was asking for as his initial offer. Same thing with Mario Barrios. But one of those Boots guys gonna say, "Damn, well, how come Eddie Hearn just didn't give him what he wanted since he offered those other guys the initial offer?" They said, "Okay, well, we'll take the one. We'll take the money that you're giving us. Just don't put it in Philly." They said no. they said no. So I'm trying to see how that work. But then again, I've seen it before. You got to understand that. I seen Eddie Hearn do the same shit to Deontay. Yeah. I seen Eddie Hearn do the same shit to Deontay. I seen Eddie Hearn offer Joseph Parker a lifetime. I seen Eddie Hearn offer what's my boy name? He fought Big Baby. Shoot. Shit. I forget his name. Southpaw with the dreads. Fought Big Baby. Big Baby Anderson. I saw Eddie Hearn offer him more than he was offering Deontay for his belt. But when it came to Deontay, he wanted to lowball him. So I've seen this story before. Seen it before. Seen it done before. So it was nothing new to me. But what's the funny thing about it? Now that he has that title defense up under his belt, you got Susaki and his people from Japan. They was at the fight. And I know everybody's seen him reading Charles Martin. There you go. Appreciate it, Nick J. Appreciate it, Nick J. Charles Martin. Offer him, Eddie Hearn offered him more than Deontay was offered. They was talking about a flat fee. The fuck? So this same shit that Eddie does, this is what Eddie does. That just let me know one thing. Eddie didn't want to fight from the beginning. But it's quite funny how Eddie was saying that, Boots was going to go to 154 and fight Virgil Ortiz. And out of nowhere, the motherfuckers got the backtracking. But they don't talk about that part, though. Yeah. They don't talk about that part. That part a little bit too embarrassing. Yeah, that part a little bit too embarrassing. So they ain't gonna talk about that part that much. Yeah. He already knows Shawa. Yeah, he already know. That's how Eddie. But here's the crazy part. This is what people didn't know. They hadn't even had a purse bid at that time for the mandatory for Jerome Boots in it. So the fight couldn't have happened anyway. And that's from the words of the IBF mouth. So that, that shit was just a whole bunch of jabberish. That's all that was. Just a whole bunch of jabberish. But you got people who are idiots and don't do research and just take things to heart. But it's okay. But you got Susaki, who's willing to pay more than what Eddie Hearn offered to go to Japan. But people were saying, "Oh, that's gonna be that's more than he ever made. He should have just took that offer. He should have did this. He should have did that." Hey man, in this game of boxing, you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn to stop listening to these crazy ass idiotic fans who really don't know nothing. They just sit behind a computer, type and talk. And then as soon as you lose, turn your back and talk shit. That's all they're gonna do. You're gonna learn that, right? But when you believe in yourself, okay, well, he trying to give me this. I know somebody else gonna come out the woodwork and give me that what I want. For sure. For sure. And especially you got guys like T.O. T.O. wanna fight so bad. So T.O. initial thing, what he was gonna do, he was hoping that Santinian beat Brian Norman so that way he can move up and fight. So that way he can move up and fight Santinian. But you see how that played out. So now when it was time to talk about Brian Norman and Teofimo Lopez, he got to talking about Boots. I mean, he got to talking about Bud. He got to talking about everybody else. Quite funny how the tables turned because I remember like 6 years ago, Teofimo Lopez pulled out of that WBC series. Now all of a sudden he Jock Holding Devin Haney wanting to fight him. Oh. Damn, just 6 years ago, you said that you didn't need to fight Devin Haney. Just 6 years ago, you did an interview saying that, hey, we was trying to freeze him out. The promoters was talking about it. We all know. We left you out. Oh, boy, have the tides have changed. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. The tides have changed. Damn, T.O., I remember you saying that. Oh, I don't have to fight Devin. We was trying to freeze him out. Oh, my God. Tides has changed. But now you got a guy like Teofimo Lopez who don't even want to move up to 47 when he has a WBO belt at 140, when he can activate his clause and move up to fight in 47. He don't want to do that. But you got guys like Devin Haney coming to 47. You got Ron Garcia coming to 47. So that this 47 is going to stack up, and somebody's going to want to get that belt off Brian. So with Eddie Hearn saying that, we're going to give you this much and this, when you've already offered Barrios and Stanionis a significant amount. but you want to lowball him. Japanese people came right in and boom, hey, what's up? Y'all know you're gonna make some money in Japan. Y'all know that. Come on, man, y'all know that. So now Brian can really, now he can do what he want to do. But what's next? I don't know. Me personally, the Susaki fight is there. I do believe that fight is right there on the table as well. But I also believe that what Nick J said, was it Nick J or was it Shawai? Somebody said, I'm trying to see. Oh, yeah, Nick J said, I want to see Barrio first. I want to see Barrios first. I believe that fight can happen. Here's why I believe that fight can happen. I believe that fight can happen simply because right after the weigh-ins, Bob did an interview right in front of me. Bob did an interview. Was it right? Yeah, it was like right in front of me or right after I had seen him. It was one of them. I remember somebody asking him, hey, Bob, and you guys probably seen an interview too about PBC and Top Rank working with each other. If they willing to work with each other, then guess what? Let's get this unification on, man. Now, granted, I believe B will go to Japan. I do believe he'll go to Japan. I believe that fight can happen, right? You got Boots and Stanionis. They get ready to unify. We can possibly have a quick undisputed match. That'll be the second time in what? If that happens, they both fight. Let's say Boots fight or Stanionis, whoever win, right? They unify with Norman Yek. I do believe that Norman probably, I think he decapitates Barrios, not even bullshitting. I think that Barrios, and I know Keith Thurman hit hard. I know Tank hit hard. And I just see what he's done with those two guys. And he's definitely not nowhere quick nor athletic as Brian Norman. So that fight ends very, very fast for me. And we can get a quick undisputed at 47. Really can. That's if those words hold true that PBC and Top Rank working with each other. I believe they can work with. They are willing to work with each other. I believe that they are working with each other, simply because they don't like how things going with Turkey. Right, Turkey. I'm not saying Turkey trying to change the game, but we can see symbolically trying to change some of the things that's going on, which I think is cool. I think it's a great thing. But it's funny how Turkey can make these companies who didn't want to work with each other, who always wanted to keep things in-house, all of a sudden work with each other now, huh? Yeah. So when you got somebody with some oil money who changes some shit up because y'all ain't been doing right, and then don't get me started. They know they ain't been doing right, but now you got somebody with some money who can make some shit shake. Now everybody out here scrambling. There you go, Shawai. Yeah, and now everybody out here scrambling. Hey man, they trying to take the belts. He don't want the belts and the woo. Yeah, now everybody's scrambling trying to make the shit shake. Yeah, So while you was over there saying, well, the TV deals and well, we're gonna keep it in-house, and while you was saying that shit for the last 10 to 15 years that I remember, right? While y'all been saying that, this nigga Turkey done came in. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Turkey came in and shocked the shit out of him. He made their ass get right. Let's be clear. Now, I know some of y'all might be fans of promotion companies. I don't give a fuck about that because I know what's going on. But the facts is the fact. The truth is the truth. These motherfuckers getting some get right now. You see, they starting to act right. You seen all these mandatories coming out of nowhere. You seen all these, we're gonna force this fight coming out of nowhere. These sanctioning these sanctioning bodies, they forcing fights now. These promotion companies, PBC, Top Rank, want to work with each other now. Oh, well, this shit was 10 years ago. All we ever heard was TV deals and production deals and in-house fights and woo and blah, blah, blah. But you get a motherfucker like a Turkey, shit, well, hey, him and him, y'all gonna fight. Him and him, y'all gonna fight. We ain't seen that much crossing the street in a long time, huh? We ain't seen that much crossing the street in a long time, huh? Yeah, man. We ain't seen that much crossing the street in a long time, huh? But it's here, man. So hopefully they can make that fight because I think that'll be a great fight. He said, "Ooh, yeah, I'm God." Man, y'all know I ain't lying. Jose Diaz say, "Tell you on point." I'm just speaking truth, man. Like I said, because I'm not a fan of a promotion company. I love boxing. I can give a fuck what these promotion companies do, but I'm stating what I'm stating what people are scared to say. Bro, y'all know damn okay. Like I was saying on Twitter, there's a difference between massive fights and big fights. For me, big fight for me would be okay. We got this guy who's number one, number two, or top five in this sanctioning body, but we know we got number one and number two, or they over there with Golden Boy, but number 3, 4, 5, they one of them over here with Eddie, one of them over there with let's say Pro Box, and the other one over there with damn PBC. We wouldn't never seen all this mismatching, all these mismatching and making up shit if it wasn't for Turkey. Now these motherfuckers, oh shit, bro. Oh, hey man, hey, let's go ahead and make this fight because woo. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of that going on. Come on, man. Y'all know I ain't lying. Y'all see this shit too. Come on, man. Y'all see this shit too. Joseph Thompson said Turkey making them cross the street and have a neighborhood barbecue. Come on, man. Y'all know I ain't lying. Y'all know I ain't lying. I know, and I'm hearing people say, well, they want to just kiss the ring. I don't really think, hey, man, I ain't focusing on that part. I ain't talking about that part. I'm talking about these fights being made. I ain't fan on no promotion company. I want to see these fights being made. But if PBC willing to work with Top Rank, like Bob Arum said, by God, we need to see this Brian Norman and Barrios fight. For sure. We need to see that. I'm with it. I don't think excuse me, man, that damn pollen, man, that shit everywhere down here. Shit got me messed up. I don't think right now Top Rank would probably throw a Polanco or a Tiger Johnson just right now because they just got to the division. Right now, Brian Norman is in the seat to go make some good quality money. He in a good seat. But I know a lot of people talk about the jab. That was a jab that he definitely hit him with. I'm way too familiar with that combination. I actually told him that at the venue. Said, bro, you know damn well I know what that was. He said, yeah, and they still throwing shit at B to me, and that's fine. That's fine. They can keep throwing it because here's the thing about B. I called B. Matter of fact, I text him Sunday to see it. Was it Sunday? I text him Monday. No, I'm sorry. Later on Sunday evening, because I got back Monday morning, like 7 in the morning. I took a red-eye flight. I texted him later on that evening on Sunday, asked him was he back. He never responded. I guess he was asleep. But Senior had texted me around like 10 and said, yeah, we made it back round a little after you did, something like that. I said, okay, bet, cool, no problem. And I think B hit me Monday morning and said, yeah, I'm back. And I called him. I said, shit, bro, what you about to do? He said, shit, man, I ain't finna do nothing right now. I'm just chilling. I said, you ain't doing no working out? You ain't shaking no soreness off? He said, I ain't sore. I said, I'm just gonna chill a couple days. All right, cool. I'd be damned this motherfucker went to the gym. I'd be damned he went to the gym, posted all on Instagram. I'm like, damn, nigga, you said you weren't doing that. Because I was trying to get a workout in too. But that's just the dedication that he have. He don't party. He don't club. He don't smoke. He don't drink. Don't do any of that stuff. He do more reading than what people. Shit, he do a lot of reading. A lot of reading. A lot of things to get his mind to stay in sync. He's forever training. So if people think that it's a fluke or this is going to be over soon, hey, good luck. Because it's now that both hands fits and he's gotten stronger. Good luck. Good luck. Rutledge, what's good with you? Say, what it do? What's going on, bro? What's going on? What's happening? He said he owes Ramos a rematch. Remember that draw? Who had a draw? Oh, you talking about Barrios. So boxing is a way of life. Absolutely, man. And listen, I'm telling you, man, the kid is different. I've been waiting. I've been knowing him for too long. I'm trying to tell you. Been knowing him for too long. I'm telling you what's going on, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. I'm just happy for the kid, man. I'm definitely happy for him, man. And tonight he got a chance to go out to the Hawks game. They invite him out to the game and took pictures, showed the belt off and things of that nature, and just let him know that Atlanta behind them. Let him know that Atlanta behind him. And he definitely has a bright future. Definitely has a bright future for sure. Last but not least, man, Deontay Wilder definitely coming back to the ring. I won't say coming back to the ring, but he's definitely getting ready to fight again. Yeah, Shawah, you want to know what's funny about that? You should ask him who always tell him make sure his weight good. I always tell him, man, listen, man, go ahead and get on weight before the fight, man. Be on weight, man. You know what I mean? So was Spence versus Tim Tszyu confirmed? I have no clue, bro. I don't know nothing about none of that. I don't know nothing about none of that. Rather say every time I hear your voice, or Brian Norman talk, I hear your voice. Everybody been saying that. But yeah, Deontay Wilder on the way to the ring again. It actually slipped out through Mike Coppinger. Deontay didn't know that Mike Coppinger worked for who was it? I forget, the Global Combat Collective. Those same people, who did Alicia Baumgartner fight here in Atlanta, in which I didn't like the venue that they had because you had to have, I think it was like an invite only type of deal when they had that fight here in Atlanta. So a lot of people didn't get to see it. It looked like it was in a bubble on a cartoon screen or something like that. But this fight is definitely going to be in Wichita, Kansas. Wichita, Kansas. I got to slow my words down. It's going to be in Wichita, Kansas. Wichita, Kansas. And so I'm definitely looking forward to it. I know you're looking forward to it. If you haven't heard the interview that he did with 78 Sports TV, you could definitely go check that out. You can actually hear it in his voice, man. He seemed calm, cool, collective, and like he's got his thoughts back together. And I know a couple of people asked me off the air within the past, I want to say since he last fought and was knocked out by Zhang, people ask me, like, what is mindset like? I'm like, hey, man, honestly, bro was going through a lot. But, like, if you ask me, like, now that he's gotten the therapy and things that he needed to do for himself and his sake and his well-being, if you ask me now, or if you ask me maybe like 2-3 months ago, I would tell you the same thing that I told those same people. This is like the first time since like 2015, 2016 that I seen, every time you talk to him, he's a bundle of joy. He's always happy. He's either training or he handling some business. So for me to hear that, for me to hear that, and for me to see that, it's always a good thing. Like, you know, here and there, we'll go out, go bowling, go grab something to eat or something like that. So, and we've been doing that a lot frequently too. So like, he's definitely in a good space, man. Like, and I've been saying that for a while now. Despite some other things that he had going on, and those things are just about cleared up. Excuse me. And by the time that cleared up, he'll be back in the ring. And I know people ask me who's going to be training him and da da da. I don't know. I can really care less, honestly, because it's not any of my business. But you know, as far as I know, it's the same people. So I'm just leave it at that. You know what I mean? I'm just leave it at that. If anything changes, y'all will see if anything changes. But I'm not certain or for sure if anything changes. But he's fighting Herndon. Herndon, I think he's what? I know he got 5 losses, but I don't know how many wins he got. I want to say 20 something odd wins. But this is a good I won't say comeback fight. This is a good fight. To see where you at. It's like a running a diagnostic on your car, right? You run a diagnostic on your car to see what's wrong with it. And I think that's what one of these fights is. I don't think Deontay's taking this fight lightly at all. I will say that. He's been training. That's for sure. He's been training, been putting in the work, and he's just ready to see where he's at. And I think right after that, you guys will see a pretty decent fight. I wouldn't say it's a big fight, but it's pretty decent. I think everybody would enjoy the next fight as well. 24-5. Yeah, I knew he had 5 losses. But I think everybody will be receptive. I've already seen people say, "Oh, he's fighting tomato cans again," and da da da. Well, shit. I remember when Joshua, and I hate to even bring his name up, but I remember when Joshua lost to Usyk 2 different times, and he went to go fight that someone nobody even heard of. Well, they recently just heard of the guy that Joshua fought because he damn near beat Burnt Strick, Dillian White. Excuse me. Damn near beat Dillian White. But I found that funny. Because you fought an undisputed. You fought for undisputed 2 different times. I mean, not undisputed, but you fought for unification 2 different times. In the first fight, you was down 4-0, 5-0. You fought back 5. You fought back. I'm sorry, 3-3. It was 3-0. You fought back 3-3 going into the 7th round. Or maybe it was 4. I'm sorry. He was down 4-0 because Usyk won the first 4 rounds. You was down 4-0. You fought back and won 4 straight rounds. Going into the 9th round, it was tied. It was a tied up fight. You gassed out. Usyk won the belts. Come back the second fight. You hired you hired the coach. I forget his name. Down in not Mexico, but in California. Garcia, you hire him. You go out and fight Usyk. In which, at one point during that fight, I actually thought you was getting ready to stop Usyk. But like I said before, I've always questioned. I never didn't say I didn't like Joshua. I've always questioned his heart. Because if he had any type of heart and any type of aggression temperament, he could have beat Usyk the second fight. That's how close that fight was. So he lost 2 times. He didn't go fight anybody in contention. He didn't go fight anybody in the top 10. But everybody said, oh, he needed that fight. Why? How the fuck do you go from a unification fight to fighting nobody who's in the fucking top 5 or top 10 and say he needed that fight? I don't get it. Somebody explain that shit to me. I don't get it. Oh, he need to get, you know, he with Derrick James, so he need to get right. He need to do this. Who gives a fuck? But I remember when Deontay took 2 losses to Fury, wouldn't fought Helenius, people would say, oh, that's his sparring partner. But what they didn't say, and they failed to say, Helenius was #1 in the WBA. They never said that. Helenius already had 2 different title contention fights. So that means if D beat him, he's right back in contention. Joshua didn't do that. He fought fucking the kid who beat Dillian White. And then he fought Helenius. And then he claimed that he was going to fight Deontay next. Now, keep in mind, neither Deontay nor Joshua had to win their fights. It was going to happen next regardless of the fact. But you can't be saying that you're going to fight Deontay Wilder next and you're fighting a fucking southpaw. Yeah. He fought the southpaw who fought Fury. And you're saying that you're going to be fighting Deontay next. That's why Deontay kept saying that he didn't know if Joshua was going to fight for real or not, because the word was he was going to retire or he was going to try to fight Zhilei Zhang, which is why he fought a southpaw. So don't let these people lie to y'all. But neither here or there. Deontay say, man, he has some more stuff to accomplish. He got some more things that he want to accomplish, some more things that he want to do. So, you know, this is the first step towards what he wanted to do. Excuse me. Y'all got to forgive me, man. This damn pollen everywhere. But, yeah. Got to see it now. I'm against it because I really don't want bro to fight no more. Everybody know that. But, again, it's not me who's making the decision. I don't have a decision for his life, you know, but there's things that he wants to accomplish, you know, and I believe that he has sense enough and well enough to know if and when it is time, you know what I mean? But as a brother, I'm gonna ride with my brother, you know what I mean? Do I want to fight again? No, I don't. But I'm gonna ride with my brother, man. Definitely gonna ride with him. So he'll be back June 27th with Global Combat League, and it's on Black Prime, right? It's on Black Prime. He was going to do a deal with Black Prime through Black Prime, but they couldn't show anything in escrow, so he's not fucking with Black Prime. And I must say that because I've heard someone say the other day, "Oh, he with Black Prime." No. And I know that person probably listening. Right, but no, it's not Black Prime. Black Prime might be doing the TV, just like they do any of the TV deals, like they doing a TV show here, but it's not Black Prime card. They just airing it. That's basically what it is. But this is definitely a global combative collective group who's throwing the card. Black Prime is just airing it. So don't let nobody tell you different. You know, I know a lot of people think they know what they're talking about, but it's okay. Some people don't never like to be wrong. But with that being said, man, I got to go take some of this medicine because this pollen is in my throat. This pollen is in my nose. And with that being said, I'm out. But I appreciate everybody showing up. DP Rocker, what's good with you, man? What's going on? Jared Green, what's going on? What's going on? Kondo, I ain't see you in here, bro. I got the whole nother screen up, so my bad. I was looking at something. But I appreciate everybody coming through, man. I know everybody gonna say, when you coming back? But hey, man, don't worry. It's gonna be soon. Very, very soon. Very, very soon. Actually got an interview with Brian Oman coming up. And some other people gonna be stopping by as well. So with that being said, I'm out, man. Y'all have a good night. Cause this pollen is kicking my butt. With that said, I'm gone. Love, peace, happiness, and hello world.
Before the paper, I knew they would say, and I knew by the looks on their faces. Niggas mad cause I did what they wouldn't do, say what I couldn't do. Look, bitch, I made it. I made it. Came a long way from the basement. Fighting on me, I ain't playing, y'all. These niggas ain't playing fair. If I would've known better, I'd do better. Took some mess and I learned from a new level. Bought some new shovels and some new stressors. And I'm ready for war like whoever. They counted me out, I can't count it all. Cause little nigga, I ball. I put them points on the board every time that I shoot, I'm a score, and you know I'm a dog. I'm really appalled, don't need no applause. I know I'm a legend, my name on the wall. First record with platinum, my second with gold. Did it independent, no deal at all. And they said it's impossible. Got them high cause I did them without them though. I'm the same nigga slept on the carpet floor. Even back then I knew that I'd be poppin', so I really ain't trippin'. I swear I ain't trippin'. I got in my feelings and got me a million. Couple people I thought would be with me, but they not, so it's fuck all them niggas.
And then you next.